Hello, everyone. My name is Alan Pershevsky. I'm the senior backend engineer in threat management team, and I would like to go quickly through the idea that we have for test project level scan execution policies MVC. This idea is written down in the whole requirements or written down here in the epic, but you can take a look there. The whole discussion, it was really interesting how we are trying to ensure that we're building a great solution. So here, and I will talk specifically about the implementation plan of that. So it will be more backend discussion, backend talk about things that we can do and how we can achieve that. And I will specifically talk about alternative solutions. So we were talking about, to give you some context, we were talking about two possible solutions. First, to store the whole policies in database. So create new models, extend the current database model with those new fields and so on, or store them as YAML files in the repository, which gives us a way to quickly deliver things at the same time. Few things that Git repositories are giving us, like being able to audit, being able to see when given change was made, or to being able to fork or publicly expose repository with those policies and share them across the open source community. You have enormous possibilities with using YAML files, the same as you have with using YAML files for Kubernetes and any other solution that is currently using YAML files to configure things. So we wanted to make it the same way. In the declarative way, you use YAML files and then you can reuse them for many projects, not only that. So that was the solution that we're thinking of right now. I prepared a small demo how it could work and what we could achieve with that and so on. I'll show you that in a minute. If you want to take a look at the code that I'm showing you today, I'd like to test it on your own. There is an MVC, like work in progress MR with that code. I'll just go quickly through the code at the end of that call, so you'll see what's going on. Okay, I believe we can start. So let's start with showing you the general idea, right? So we have security orchestration policies as repository. That's the general idea. And the idea is simple. You have a repository with YAML files, and then you can assign that repository to multiple projects and use YAML files from that repository to apply policies for given projects. It's a very simple idea. And here I have an example of that repository that we could use. So I have a repository, I have GitLab security policies directory here, and I could have multiple files with policies, but I have only one. We're focusing on scheduling test scan, right? So here we are, we have a type scan execution policy, name, description, every metadata that you could think of, if it's enabled or not, because you can store things that you're not yet enabled and will be enabled in the future. The user, when you're scheduling a pipeline, you need to know which user is actually doing that. You can either create a bot user that will do that for you, or you can use your own name. It is connected to permissions, because you need to have a user that will start the pipeline, and you need to make sure that that user is able to do that. Then you specify the rules. So we have one rule here right now that is a schedule. So schedule something on given time. We're storing it as cron to simplify things, and then action, what to do. So we would like to schedule a scan, that scan with those profiles on given time. So that's very simple policy that we want to have. Okay. Let's go quickly to desk scans and to show you what we have here. We have defined for the project that we would like to use this policy for, we have defined the site profile and scanner profile here with those names that are explicitly mentioned here. Okay, so we have it, and it's very simple site and very simple scanner profile. And I won't go into details here. Okay, so let's take a look at the demo part. Let's take a look first how we could save the information about security orchestration policy project for your project where you'd like to use given policy. So we were thinking that in the project settings, you could go and you could have a drop down and then select, oh, I would like to select this project as my security orchestration policy project. Then you need to ensure that you have this directory structure as was mentioned in this repository, right? So this is it. This is similar to what you could do in Kubernetes cluster configuration in GitLab, where you can specify GitLab managed apps, project, and so on. So you can find more examples of using that for many things in GitLab. Okay, so and now we can go to the code itself. All right, here we are in the code. So first of all, the configuration. I was telling about the UI, but obviously on the backend it works a little bit different. So let's go and grab the policy configuration. As you can see, I already have it. It's very simple. It stores like project ID for which project you'd like to specify the repository with policies, and then the ID of that project where we store all those policies. It's very simple. Then we need to somehow have a way. Maybe I'll go quickly here. When you have that configured, the project is assigned to your security policy repository. We need to have a way to create a schedule in database. So we need to ensure that we have an entity in database that we'll use to actually do something, to actually run a scan or do any other action that is assigned to given schedule. In our schedule, our action is to start a scan. So we would like to do that. So whenever we have that connection, so we have a connection between project and the repository with policies, then we need to create something in database that will help us schedule some tests, and that will tell us, oh, when is the next scan going? And then we can have a worker that would do that for us, right? Okay, so I'm gonna just create those policies for ourselves. So we have create orchestration policy worker, and this is exactly what we'll do. It will create those schedules in database, and you can see I can go to rule schedule. And what it was created, it's that. So I have created that for this policy in this project, and we have a cron, and then based on that cron, we calculated when is the next run. So because we have this cron is very specific that it will be on Monday, on the 1st of February, and so on, we would like to update that just to make sure that our other worker that will take a look at those schedules in database will be able to actually schedule a test. So I'll just update that. I'll update the column. And now we have next run at is set on 10 minutes ago. So just 10 minutes ago, then we have another worker that will actually take it, take that amount, take the time and see, oh, it's already past current time. That means I need to use it to schedule a test, right? So now I can go and actually use another worker that we have here, orchestration policy rule schedule worker, that will iterate on those schedules and it will actually initiate a scan. I'll show you more in details in a minute in the code, but you can see it created a pipeline, it created a build. This is the whole configuration of that pipeline and so on. And now we can go and actually see if in this project we have a new pipeline that is actually doing what we really want to have. So let's take a look. We see a pipeline that is running. Let's see if it was just scheduled. Yeah, it was just scheduled, and we see that it was even finished because that was very simple and easy test. Wait a minute. I believe I haven't refreshed the page with the pipeline we would like to actually see. So let's do that quickly. Yeah, this is the new pipeline that was started and was already finished. So you can see it was created a few seconds ago, like 55 seconds ago, and then you have a job that was actually run, and you have some results and so on. But we only wanted to focus on things that are actually running, right? So we have a job, and everything's working as expected here. Okay, this is great. Then I'll go quickly to code, and I'll show you what's going on in the code. So if you're not interested in that part, you can just turn off that video. Okay, so let's see if there's anything found. Like, it was very simple site profile and scanner profile, but you can see that CSP was not set, and that was a passive scan, so we were expecting to have something like that. Okay, let's quickly go to the code and see here what's going on. So we have settings. So we specify the cron job. So every 10 minutes we run this create orchestration policy worker, which will create those schedules in database. And then every hour on 19th minute, we are starting like orchestration policy rule schedule worker. So let's first start with this create policy worker. It's very simple. It takes a look at the pair. This model stores pairs. So when one is project ID of the project we would like to have your policies enabled, and the project configuration ID is the ID where we store what is the ID of the project with those policies. Well, so we iterate on those pairs. We take a look at the policies that are defined there. So you can see we have active policies here. Will I be able to see that? The security works? Yeah. Have active policies. This is going through repository and take a look at the files, and then it reads those files. And for every single active policy, it will create a new. It will start a process rule service, and this process rule service will create those scheduled rules in database. So it will take a look. Oh, it will create a new rule schedule rule. So with this configuration, with this policy path, on this time, for this user, create for me this schedule rule. And then we can go to another worker that will actually iterate on those schedules, take a look which is currently runnable. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to see that here, runnable. Runnable schedules where next run at is less than time now. So in the past, so all schedules that we should already run. Okay, it will find them in batches, and then for each project that is assigned to given schedule, it will initiate a test. It will initiate some kind of job that is defined in the policy. We have role schedule service, so let's go quickly here. And you can see we are just reading actions for a given schedule, and for each action we're doing something. So for now we have only one action type, so that action is scan, and we have only DAST for now, so we can schedule DAST on demand scan, and this is what we actually are doing. So we are looking for profiles, site profiles and scanner profiles with given names that are defined in the repository. And then we are initiating a scan using DAST on demand scan create service. And and that's it. And that's actually it. So based on those policies, we were able to actually do some code in the background and initiate the DAST scan. So yeah, thank you. If you have more questions, please let me know. See ya. Bye-bye.